what is the nature of the question being asked of the courts? The courts are being asked if the system, electoral system we have, which is the first past the post system, where if in any riding, if there are 10 candidates, the one who gets the most votes, even if it happens to be 10% plus one, is declared elected, whether that is consistent with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. What is being asked is whether modern democracy requires a closer correlation with the popular vote. The argument is the following. It's obvious that when democracy first started, say in ancient Athens, by our standards it wasn't democratic at all. The slaves didn't vote, the women didn't vote. Any system that did that today would be considered completely undemocratic. A democracy for 10% or 20% of the population is not democratic. It's nothing more than corporate government, one group running itself. But now that we have a charter, and that charter makes democracy a central piece, the question we have to ask ourselves is, what is the necessary correlation between the popular vote and the division of ridings? To put it otherwise, would the state still be democratic if you had a place which had 10 million people, 9 million of whom were in one particular city? You gave that city one vote, and you divided the rest of the countryside into 5 ridings, so that the city was always dominated by the countryside. The 9 million out of 10 million people could never have a majority. Would that still be democratic? In our view, the answer is not that there is a necessary 100% correlation. You don't have to have a popular vote system, but that there has to be some fairly clear connection between the number of votes and support for a program and the results. And we think that the first past the post system misses it. The Supreme Court of Canada has already said that there has to be some sort of correlation. They just weren't precise in the type of correlation. So now we are asking that question. We are asking, to what extent must the popular vote be reflected in the results of an election? And in fact, of course, we know that there have often been cases where the party that got fewer votes won an election, won a majority in an election. This has happened for all parties, left, right, center. There was a time when the Quebec, the Parti Québécois got a government majority with fewer votes than the Liberals. The NDP in Manitoba did, but then the Conservatives in Saskatchewan did against the NDP. So it's not a left-right issue. It's simply an issue of a correlation between the results and the vote.